Hello, welcome to this month's in review video. This month has been a doozy. Every single month I sit down and I'm like, wow, I really did nothing this month, and then I go through my camera roll and my bullet journal and I'm like, oh no, I did lots. So let's get into it. Last month I actually forgot to brag about something, and that would be my new coffee machine. I got an Nespresso Verteo pod capsule machine off of Amazon for less than 40 quid because it was used in acceptable condition with large cosmetic damage. But when it arrived, there was not a mark on it. And I also got the welcome gift of free coffee. Pretty good purchase, and I fully recommend if you ever want to buy something expensive, check in the used and new section on Amazon and see if you can grab a bargain. On the topic of purchases, when my old job just ended last month, I received a gift card, and that effectively means that I was let loose in a bookshop with very little supervision, so I bought a lot of books. This is not all of them. I bought a very small, pocket-sized foraging book, which is somewhere in one of my bags now. But I also bought these, and I will give you a quick run through. So this one is called Into the Forest by Dr. Ching Lee, but please, I'm so sorry. I've never heard it before, so I'll put the author's name here and with my sincerest apologies. It's about walking through forests and finding peace and tranquility, but also looking around you and seeing what there is. And I really enjoy crime thriller, so I bought this one, which is called The Cry of the Owl by Patricia Highsmith. It's about stalkers. It says on the back, this standalone novel of suspense and paranoia draws on Highsmith's own experience of being a stalker, so I'm very intrigued by this one. Next up is Mr. Nobody, and I don't remember buying this one to be honest, but it's by Catherine Steadman. And a man is found barely unconscious on an empty Norfolk beach, unable to speak and without ID. Interest in the case is sparked immediately. A man who doesn't remember and a woman who remembers too much. He shouldn't know anything about her, especially not that. Really intrigued, don't really know what it's about, but I'm excited to get my teeth stuck into it. And then Pine by Francine Toon. A literary gothic thriller. The blurb is far too long to give a summary, but I will be reading this and reviewing it because I always do. I try to. On the topic of books, I finished The Guest List by Lucy somebody, author's name here. It was fantastic. It was one of those books where like I'm obviously into the storyline, and then there's like tidbits of storyline that I'm like, where is this going? And then it gets to that point and you're just like, oh, it's all making sense now. And it was a real page turner, and I did not expect half of the things that happened, and it was very, very good. I love when I don't expect some of the things. Like, I don't mind being able to predict the ending, but I don't want it to be all trope all the way through and I get to the end and I'm like, well, who didn't see that coming? So what am I reading now? I am reading The Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I am about halfway through, and if I finish it in the next couple of days, probably not, I will have read 2 books this month to catch up, and it is quite a thick boy, so that's good. This, so far, is fantastic. I have no words. It's so good. It's very smart. It really makes you like think and track stuff. This is one of those books that you kind of want to read quickly because there's so much in it happening. And what I tend to do sometimes is I'll get like a session in and then it'll be like a week and a half, 2 weeks before I pick up the book again, and I may have forgotten things. I don't want to do that with this. So there is hope for me to finish it, and it's just, I'm so intrigued by what's going to happen next. And I also bought a little dinosaur bookmark. So that's all the books covered. What fun things did I do this month? Oh, I did so many fun things. I went out in Nottingham for the first time in about 2 or 3 years, which was great. There was a pre-Pride party done by Glad Rags, and I went to that. I was in drag. It was fantastic. We had a good night. And I also took a little bit of a break from videos just for 1 week because I filmed one and then got busy with work. And by the time I had time to edit it, it was Nottingham Pride. So, I mean, I love you all and I love making videos, but fuck editing when I could be at Pride with a bunch of gays. So I went to Pride with a bunch of gays. I'm sure you'll forgive me. But Nottingham Pride was great. It was a little different this year because normally what happens is, as you'll probably hear from this video up here that I did about Nottingham Pride about 2 years ago, is it accessible? We do the parade route when we go for a walk, and then there's usually like stalls and stuff. But this year there wasn't any stalls and stuff because COVID and restrictions, and it was really hard to kind of police it. So we got to the end and there was a marshal like, right, march is over, disperse. So instead of going around stalls or going to any of the pubs and the local venues that were doing events, I went and got a tattoo. I'd wanted this tattoo for a long time, and then I walked past a tattoo shop on the parade route that said, we have walk-in appointments today. So I guess I better show you what I got. I got these two right here. They say they, them twice. Because those are my pronouns, and they have been for a long time. And I just wanted them for a long time, just like something along the collarbones, and to make it very obvious that I'm a they, them without having my pronoun badges on. But also just having that on me is really like affirming of my gender identity, part of my genderqueer transition, if you will. If you want to know more about my genderqueer transition, up here. I don't know how much of my tattoos you will have all seen, but I think we're due a tattoo tour because this probably looks a little bit extreme if you don't know that I have most of my stomach done, and I have plans to get my chest done with some shoulder stuff, sleeves, eventually I have money. So drop me a like and a comment if you want a tattoo tour where I talk about the tattoos I've had and the ones that I will be removing and the ones that I'll be getting in the future. Fingers crossed, so let me know. Some things about the tattoo, I guess. Symmetrical tattoos I swore I would never get because they're an absolute pain in the ass to try and get them symmetrical because bodies are not symmetrical. But even if they were, placing them symmetrically can be quite difficult. Pain-wise, I barely felt it, but that is something that I actually need to bring up with a medical professional because I have random patches of numbness on my skin and it happens a lot, especially if there is sort of like tattoo pain going on. So when I got some of my stomach done, I didn't feel a huge portion of it and I actually fell asleep in the little chair thing, and that shouldn't really happen, so that's not ideal. Kind of concerning, but also it's a superpower. I think the most uncomfortable part was the tattoo artist, like where he had to put pressure on me. Some of it was like on my throat and not the most comfortable, but healing wise it was the easiest tattoo I think I've ever had to heal. I just cleaned it off with micellar water because it's what I had. Normally I put Bepanthen on them, but this time I found it really hard to get, and by the time I got some I didn't really need it, but I didn't have any itching, I didn't really have any pain. It just healed really nicely, which has never ever happened to me really. Normally it takes ages to heal, or it gets really itchy or really dry. Partly because EDS we have really poor wound healing, but this was different this time. Some other fun things that happened this month is my friend from university came up and visited me all the way from Cambridge, and we hung out, had drinks, we went for a walk in one of the parks in town, and I fed a squirrel. He was so cute. I gave him a little almond and he came and he took it, and he had cold feet. Very sweet. I will insert a little clip of that now. It's gonna be the wrong way up, it's gonna be this way, but like, worth it because he's very, very cute.
Oh, Mr. Squizzle.
What not?
Yeah. Those are the most chill squirrels. There you go. Go up. Go up. Yeah.
speaking of wildlife, I spent about a week being terrorised by a spider. It was not a huge one, but bigger than I'm comfortable just letting roam around in my room. And he really enjoyed the ceiling. And I'm a small person. I am 5'3" on a good day. My ceilings are taller than average, so trying to get it down, not good. I tried once, it landed on my face, I screamed, fell off my chair and nearly died. Exaggeration. And then the second time, it was at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was stood on top of this, clinging onto the little rail at the top that you can't see, that my flags are hanging off of. It's about this far from the wall, so I was at literally fingertips with a glass. And I put the glass on the spider and then realised I have no paper, so I tried to flick the spider into the glass and instead flicked it on my face. And then he disappeared into a chair, so I evicted the chair. This chair actually has only just come out of isolation because I don't trust it for not having a spider in it. But we found the spider. Spider has been dealt with. Everything's fine. Something else I did this month was I started my OBOD studying. So if you don't know, I recently converted to Druidry and I've signed up to the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids to take their Bardic grade course, and that arrived at the start of the month and I started studying it. And something that OBOD prides itself on is being a mystery school. Not to be like a cult or some kind of weird scam thing, but some of the experiences you have are so personal, and by sharing those you can give expectations to people coming in. So by not sharing the content and not sharing the experiences you have with the wider world that isn't in the course, it kind of protects that side of it, so people are free to have their own experiences without any expectation. So while I will probably be vlogging and talking about my journey into Druidry, I won't be talking about the course content specifically or any specific experiences that I've had unless I can make them very vague and separate them from actual course content. But I did start studying it and it's absolutely fantastic so far. I've been speaking to some other druids and the best is yet to come, but I'm really enjoying what we've got right now. So this month, spiritually related, was the autumn equinox, or Mabon, or Alban Elfed, and I celebrated that by eating the beetroot. I ate the beetroot that I've been growing, the ones that I showed you in my garden in this video up here. I ate them. They were teeny tiny, like that was the size of the biggest one, and I roasted them with oil, salt and thyme because I didn't have any rosemary. I would have liked some, but thyme worked. And they were really delicious, and it really put into perspective how much farming it takes to feed the entire population, because I poured all this love and patience and time into these beetroot and I got 5 or 6 teeny tiny ones. The amount of space it must take to make bigger beetroot and then be able to supply en masse. Unreal. Scarf progress. I have progressed a little bit. I'm about 1/3 of the way done with the purple-ish. Yeah. About 1/3 of the way done. Maybe a little less, maybe about 1/4 to be fair. So it's possible that I might finish it by the end of the year when it gets really, really cold. Very, very exciting stuff. So that's been a lot. I will leave that with you. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to like this video, drop a comment down below again asking if you want a tattoo tour, because it's been on my list for ages, but I hope someone actually wants to see it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and ring that notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a new video. Videos go up every Saturday at 6 PM UK time with at least one bonus video every single month. See ya!